Great. So, warm welcome also from my side. Jonas Puck, for those of you who have not met me, I think it's not many in the room at the very moment. Thank you very much for the two of you for your inspiring speeches. And I think what can we take away from that so far? On the one hand, we learned a lot about the market. So we learned about the field of energy, the technologies needed, all the complications that we are going to face in the future. We see that it's a really, really fast emerging market, which is growing, but it's growing very diverse in different regions of the world. So we have shrinking or stable demand in some regions, and we have actually exploding demand in others. We have some parts of the value chain that currently are very profitable, but maybe totally unprofitable in the future, and we have others that have been stable for ages and are profitable now, but maybe unprofitable in the future. So in all investments, and I think this is one of the core things that you can take away, happen under a huge degree of uncertainty, right? But what you should learn from that is that investing in knowledge, when uncertainty is determining a market, investing in knowledge is key to success. So if you know something about the future, if you learn how to predict things, the bigger uncertainty, the more investments into learning, into knowledge really count. Right? So what you can take away from that for the MBA, you made a good choice because you invest into learning and you invest into knowledge. Right? And what Bodo told you is that you did not just make the right choice, but you also did something that said, okay, you focus not on any university, but you actually went to the VU. And Bodo, I mean, that's his job, but I'm also absolutely convinced about that, told you that you made the right choice. The VU is not any university. It is a very, very good and highly reputable university, a very interesting and good and emerging institution. So I would say that also from the choice with regard to the university, you made a very, very good decision. The only thing that we don't know so far is what you actually bought. So we know that you bought a product from VU about a market which is energy, but so far many of you actually maybe don't know exactly what you're going to get. And this is my job now, so it's much more applied, so I'm not going to talk about the challenges of the overall market, but I'm just going to briefly introduce you into what you're going to get over the next 15 months. Right? So what we are going to do is I'm first going to tell you what you're going to study. Well, it's energy. That's hopefully not surprising you. If you're surprised by that, then we should talk a little bit more. And afterwards, I'm also going to tell you who's studying with you. Right? So what do you study as the first point? And this is more or less the roadmap of the MBA. Right? And what you see at number one, this is the first residency. I mean, this doesn't work, right? Okay, so the first residency is the one that we are currently in, which is the residency on foundations. And what you're going to get here is two courses, more or less, or two big blocks. One, which is Foundations of Management and Organization. These are the first 4 days that you're going to hear by Günther Stahl and Josef Weitel over the next days, and I can promise you that this is going to be a really, really great experience. Günther is a really, really experienced lecturer, and you're really going to enjoy that. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about the market side, so not the competencies that you need to maneuver in the market, but the market as it is. And you're going to have a core course on global market, which is going to be taught by me. But we can talk about that later. And then we have actually two courses on global energy markets and renewable energy that look at the market side, and the institutions and policy side, where we look at the relevance of political decisions. And that's very much also what Dr. Royce has highlighted, that institutions and political connections matter a lot, and this is what you see here in the first residency. The second and the third residency are focusing on functions. Right? Because so what we need is marketing, we need financial knowledge and all that to be a good manager. And many of you having a technical, rather technical background, right, will need all this information because otherwise you're not able to be a good manager. Right? So functions like entrepreneurship and innovation, financial reporting, financial management, controlling, operations, data analysis, managerial economics, and Frau Stöttinger, marketing. Right? And in addition to that, we have something that we call hot topics that we are also addressing here. And in this case, we're talking about environmental management. That's one thing that is very, very important in the field of energy because we are burning fossil fuels. And then, again, something special. I already explained it to you today, but I'm going to tell it to everyone again. We have the so-called energy labs. And the energy labs are, as universities, are classically slow. So universities have a rather slow administrative body. So if we want to make changes in our curriculum, we cannot simply do that day by day. Yeah, so our idea is, well, if there's something changing, we want to address that, so we actually are able to do so in the energy labs that we have there, and the first one is actually going to be, I think, on Friday, right? Or Thursday, right? Thursday, right? Exactly, yeah. So, and then we have skills-based courses on communication and presentation techniques. So we have a course where you learn how to structure problems, how to present solutions, and how to communicate the findings. The fourth one, actually, if you think about it, you had foundations and you have now the core competencies to deal with the problems. On the functional perspective is where we actually connect supply and demand. So where the market, where the supply and demands are shaking hands. So we have two things, which is competitive analysis and strategy, and I'm very happy that Bernhard Bauer is here because he's not just from Siemens, but he's also teaching the course together with me on energy strategy. So we're going to have that one abroad. And then we have trading, so also there supply and demand are meeting, so you're going to learn how to trade. So what you have done so far is you learned all the core functions, you learned the foundations, and you learn how to connect supply and demand. And afterwards we have done that, we look at support functions and reflection functions. So we look at leadership skills that you may need to implement your strategies. We're talking about ethics and CSR that are going to be boundaries for your decision making and also help you. We talk about information systems that actually may help you to execute your strategies, regulatory issues that we already see because they are strong.